A nice thing about Art Adventure Days is you don't have to be a full-time artist to take lunch to a park and sketch clovers. And thanks to vlogging, you don't even have to do those things with your own body. Today's task is to deliver a painting to an art gallery on Granville Island, which is a bit of a trek, so why not make a full day of it? I always credit the book Sophie's World for helping me find comfort and joy in mundane things, but this book, When Wanderers Cease to Roam, was once an eye-opening book for me when it came to artistic inspiration. Because how could I ever have zero inspiration when Vivian is over here painting different kinds of mud? How can I ever think that my days have nothing of value when Vivian is here collecting lost gloves in her sketchbook? And I love it. So you already know that once a week I try to take these forest bath walks, even if they sound boring to me, even if I'm having a sad day where a surprise cloud of mosquitoes is enough to send me over the edge. I will go, because I can't have a surprise frog hunt afternoon unless I show up. I thought that this session went a lot nicer Mind you, these two adventure days were a week apart because I only actually go out on Saturdays. Anyway, on day 2, we were in Richmond, and there's always a lot of construction. The bright pop of orange color. It's very fun to paint a boring sidewalk when there's pylons on it. Safety cones, whatever. So I might be that weirdo who stops on a sidewalk to take pictures of the sidewalk. And here are a ton of sketches I made in September. Was there a real point to doing this? Is that for you? Oh, you're so small. I've been spending like a lot of time on like sketching things, which I mostly do for Patreon. Practicing, but I'm not really creating, and that stuff can get really dull really fast. So I'm at this point now where I'm like, okay, I did the walks, I engaged with nature, I collected a bunch of subject matter that I could potentially use in paintings, and then now what do I do with it? You know what I mean? When it comes to like painting, sometimes the inspiration doesn't actually just come to you. It requires a little bit of intent. As usual, I might just flip a card off the top of a tarot deck just to get a theme to work with. Pretty much all I use the tarot deck for. And I got the Sun, which is a card about clarity and purpose and sharing joy in life. I just need to think of imagery that I could use to express that. Now, how the sketch walks really helped me with creativity, I can just think back on recent walks and pick up on memories that stick out to me. Like, for instance, the sun as an object kind of reminded me of the goldfinch that I saw recently. The very first time I've ever actually gotten to see a goldfinch close up. And he was standing in a patch of thistles, flowering thistles, and the seeds were fluttering absolutely everywhere. It sort of thematically fits with the idea of spreading joy, because, you know, wherever that seed ends up, a big, beautiful purple flower is going to come out of it. And that idea came pretty quickly, and I didn't have to scroll endlessly through Pinterest and Instagram to try to figure out what I'm going to draw. Reducing my choices down to like the most recent interesting memories just makes those choices so much easier. It also ensures that whatever I'm painting is unique to me, and I can explain why I made those choices instead of just saying, oh, so-and-so did it, so I wanted to do it, you know? Okay, so the one problem with this theme is that, well, at first I thought that this was kind of perfect, because the idea of having clarity in your purpose in life and sharing joy and comfort is definitely something that I wish that I could do. It's something that I try to aim my art around a little bit. There's a dual benefit to making art that is more empowering than it is sulking, in that it makes me feel a little bit stronger. That's how I get through things that I find scary, like dentist appointments or sometimes long drives, or, you know, silly little things like that. Well, I will envision myself after it's over on the other side of it, and I will imagine that I'm proud that I overtook it, that I got to where I was literally trying to go. Just general kind of manifesting of good things in a moment when I just want to kind of panic. And those are good tools, but sometimes looking on the bright side of things, just you're not ready for it, or you reject it, or other people reject it, and they'll throw around things like toxic positivity and stuff. Like, it's good when it makes you feel more capable, and it's bad when it just makes you feel shame for not believing in it. And right now didn't feel like the right time to make painting about spreading joy and comfort. My brain is so full of like conflicting thoughts and lies. And so I thought, how can I change this painting to accommodate the sort of inner conflict that was happening? And then maybe I can enjoy painting it more. Maybe it would be more unique than just doing another pretty bird and flower drawing. And so I kind of really honed in on that word rejection. Like rejection of looking at the silver lining all the time. Or when you reach out to somebody and they just want to one-up you in the Pain Olympics. Or when someone gives you a compliment and your brain immediately shuts it down to humble you, I guess. That kind of like annoying internal conflict, kind of like, yeah, it's rejection. So I thought maybe I could incorporate that idea with fire. Like maybe beyond this picture there is a little smoldering fire. Maybe I'll have one darkened corner to look like it has some dark smoke coming out in the side. And as the seeds sort of drift away from the bird, they start lighting up like little candles. Like if each seed was a little piece of joy and it wasn't strong enough to kind of get through that smoldering fire that's always burning. Maybe the bird is sort of like fixed in place, so he doesn't really have a way to just kind of get away from it, but all he can do is just keep singing and, continuing to work on his goals and his purpose that he's so much clarity about. But I didn't want this to be a hopeless image, so I wanted to make sure that he knows, like, if he just lifts his foot, he can sort of snap the little vines that are holding him in place. To me, that sounded kind of like a fun idea. Visually, it seems kind of confusing. I think if anyone looked at this picture, they would be, like, confused. Not just because of the fire, but thistles don't bring everyone joy. For anyone who's had to weed a garden, they are mortal enemies to a lot of people. So it could be interpreted in so many different ways, and I am just gonna have to be okay with that. I'm sort of getting lost in this deep, sort of ugly stage. It looks better than I thought it did. I've been so inundated with this like sense of uncertainty, so I've been struggling with this painting a lot. This ended up being a lot darker in the background than I intended, as I tried to make some of the stuff pop out a little bit. I don't feel like I'm really expressing myself when I'm working on this. It just feels like I'm completing a task, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid by altering the theme a little bit to be more relevant. Anyway, so I took a break to tear apart a sketchbook that I'm really surprised that I did, because I actually really love the sketchbook. I just felt like it was time, I guess. I am keeping the covers because I'm probably going to reuse them. But anyways, what I'm left with is a bunch of neat collage papers, I guess, to play with or pack away. That's a sketchbook. When I tear my sketchbooks apart, I have been telling myself, I love this tape. I wish I could get more of that. I tell myself that I'm cleaning up and then keep the few pages that I do really still like. Although I realized recently that I only actually seem to do that when I'm really like feeling bad and full of uncertainty. Wondering like, what if it's actually just like a form of self-harm to rip apart a sketchbook? I don't know. But I did use some of the pages to like create covers for new sketchbooks. Maybe to take with me to markets and stuff, just to have something. It's actually the making of the covers and binding it that takes so long. I don't know if I can actually make little sketchbooks and keep them sort of like accessible. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is the theme. Some little extra pieces to start kind of spacing them out and seeing if it helps a little bit. I really originally intended for the bird to be the darkest thing on the page. So now it sort of looks like it's a very moody kind of day. Like this is supposed to be the sun, right? Is this going to come together? I don't know. Anyway, I know this painting is a little weird, and if you made it this far, congratulations. Thanks for watching. I have found a bunch of older paintings that I don't think I've been giving very much love to, so I'm having a little bit of a sale in my Etsy shop right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye!